Okay, it is a beautiful Monday here in the studios of Rapid Television. Well, we'll continue with sports on the breakfast show Rapid Dawn, and I am Ijoma Victor. Now, it was a beehive of activities over the weekend. Yes, the surprises still continues. We saw what Cape Verde, or probably Cabo Verde, almost did against world champions Argentina. They did that against Spain, and they also did it against Argentina. Now, Cape Verde, the only country that didn't lose a game throughout the tournament. Yes, because actually after 90 minutes, that's when some punters will say the game is over. But it actually went straight into extra time, where Argentina saw the opportunity to grab that win against the small island close to the coast of Africa. Well, other upset again was a game between Norway and Brazil. Carlo Ancelotti, Vinicius Jr., Neymar Jr. Well, they are out of the tournament, crashing out in the round of 16. But before we go straight to the World Cup, here are some of the top stories we are tracking at this time. I will begin with basketball, where Nigeria's D Tigers hammered Rwanda by 106-62 in their final Group C fixtures at the FIBA Basketball 2027 World Cup African qualifiers. Now, the dominant win ensured of the African qualifiers, where they will face tough oppositions in the race for one of Africa's place at the World Cup bid for Qatar. I will head straight into football and to the stadium in Ikenne. That's the Remo Star Stadium in Ikenne, where Nigeria's Flamingos claimed a 3-2 victory over Benin Republic in the first leg of their 2026 FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup final qualifying round at that played at the Remo Stars Sports Complex in Ikenne on Saturday. Now, Benin stunned the host when they took the lead through Yenido Riomain in the 14th minute. Now, the Flamingos responded with Queen Joseph equalizing 10 minutes later. Now, it was Oluwakemi Adegbuyi who gave Nigeria the lead for the first time in the game 2 minutes after the hour mark. Now, Benin, however, fought back with Nasifatu Dangui restoring parity in the 72nd minute. Ifeanyi Kindness netted the winning goal for the Flamingos 3 minutes later. Now, the two teams will clash in the reverse fixtures at the stage the Keg in Lome next weekend. Now, when it comes to Nigeria and Benin Republic, just know that it is Nigeria and Nigeria, because most of those ladies applying their trade for Benin Republic are just from neighboring Lagos, Ogun, and Osun, and some already residing there in Benin Republic because they are next door neighbor. Now, still with women's football, the Super Falcons will open their training camp in Morocco on July 5th as preparations intensify for the 2026 Women's African Cup of Nations WAFCON, which kicks off on July 26th. Now, the 10-time champions will hold 1 week training camp in the coastal city of Mahamidia before moving to Rabat for the tournament, situated on Morocco's Atlantic coast. Let's also tell you that Mahamidia is known for the sandy beaches, including Sotul, Minimani, and Monarchy Beach. Now, the city will provide the base for head coach Justin Madugu as his squad to fine-tune their preparations ahead of the Continental Showpiece. Now, the Super Falcons head into the tournament as after a series of preparation or probably preparatory matches, including a friendly against the indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon and 2 games against Senegal in Ikenne, Remo, Ogun State last month. Now, following the training camp, the team is expected to travel by road to Rabat, a journey of approximately 44 minutes, where they will be based throughout the group stage. Now, Nigeria, the defending champions, have been drawn in Group C alongside the Copper Queens of Zambia, the Pharaohs of Egypt, and Malawi. Now, according to the Confederation of African Football, CAF, the match schedules, the Super Falcons will play all 3 of their group stages fixtures in Rabat. July 28, they will take on Malawi at the Al Madani Stadium in Rabat. August 1st, it will be Nigeria and Zambia at the same venue, the Madani Stadium in Rabat. And August 5th versus Egypt. Nigeria will take on Egypt at the Olympic Stadium in Rabat. Now, the expanded 16-team tournament will also serve as African qualifiers competition for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup in Brazil. Now, the 4 semi-finalists will secure automatic qualifications for the global stage. Now, let's also tell you, as we head straight to the camp of the Copper Queens, where Zambian's team will set a camp in Algeria next week, Monday, for their final preparations ahead of the 2026 Women's African Cup of Nations. Now, the Copper Queens will also face Algeria in 2 friendlies as part of their build-up towards the tournament. Now, the 2 friendlies will be played on Sunday, 19th of July and Wednesday, 22nd of July. Zambia and Algeria will jet out to Morocco on the same flight for the competition after the second friendly. Zambia have been drawn in Group C with defending champions Super Falcons of Nigeria, regional rivals Malawi and Egypt. They will face Egypt in their opening fixtures at the Stade Olympique de Rabat on Tuesday, 28th of July. I will head straight to the FIFA 2026 World Cup, where England survived a recurrent Azteca Stadium. Yes, as the atmosphere and the red card early in the second half to prevail past co-host Mexico 3-2 in a thrilling World Cup round of 16 clash in Mexico City on Sunday. Now, with a game that had almost, everything, including, a whole long weather, delayed the 2 teams and the crowd combined to produce one of the game of the tournament before England clinched a spot in the quarterfinals for the 3rd consecutive World Cup. Now, Thomas Tuchel's side became the first team to defeat Mexico in the World Cup as at the famed Azteca, and just the 3rd team to win there in 89 total competitive matches. Now, as they continue to seek a second World Cup title. Now, the first since 1966, England will take on Erling Haaland and Norway in Miami, the Garden City of Florida, on Saturday for a place in the semi-finals. Now, Mexico twice fought back bravely from a 2-goals deficit, but saw their dreams dashed of reaching the quarterfinals for the first time since they last hosted the World Cup back in 1986. Now, it was Jude Bellingham who scored twice in the 98 seconds to temporarily quiet the impassionate crowd of more than 80,000 before Julian Quinones quickly pulled a goal back before halftime to fire the atmosphere once more. Now, Mexico have now exited the World Cup at the same stage of round of 16 8 times since they reached the quarterfinals back in 1986. Now, the only other time they went past the last 16 was the previous time they hosted the tournament back in 1917. After Canada exited the tournament at the hands of Morocco on Saturday, the United States is the lone co-host remaining. The US will face Belgium in the round of 16 on Monday, that is today. Let's also tell you that Brazil suffered in the hands of Erling Haaland as he scored twice in the closing stages to fire Norway into the quarterfinals of the 2026 FIFA World Cup with a dramatic 2-1 victory over the Samba Boys of Brazil, now ending the 5-time champions' hope of lifting a 6th World Cup title. Now, after a tightly contested encounter, Haaland broke the deadlock in the 79th minute before sealing the result with another strike in the 90th minute, sending the Scandinavian side into the last 8. Neymar converted a penalty deep in stoppage time to reduce the deficit, but his goal proved to be little more than the consolation as Norway held on to secure a famous victory. Now, the result echoes Norway's memorable 2-1 triumph over Brazil at the 1998 FIFA World Cup in France when the Scandinavians, stunned the South American side to victory, yes, in Marseille on June 23rd, 1998. Now, Norway signaled their intention from the opening whistle, appearing to take the lead as early as the 3rd minute. However, the celebrations were cut short after the goal was ruled off for offside. Now, the Norwegians continued to dictate the tempo for much of the contest, enjoying a great share of possession and preventing Brazil from establishing any sustained rhythm. Now, Brazil were handed a golden opportunity to take the lead in the 14th minute when they were awarded a penalty. But goalkeeper Erling Haaland produced an excellent save to deny Bruno Guimaraes from the spot. Well, for Brazil, it is done and dusted for this World Cup. Better next luck next time, that will be in 2030. But meanwhile, one man, Neymar Jr., has announced his retirement from international football following Brazil's 2-1 loss to Norway in the round of 16 of the FIFA World Cup 2026 on Monday. Now, the former Barcelona star made his final appearance for Brazil after coming on in a defeat to Norway, scoring a stoppage time penalty, which was not enough to cancel out Erling Haaland's double. Now, the 34-year-old forward finished his career as the top goal scorer in the history of Brazilian men's national team with 80 goals in 129 appearances. Well, according to Neymar, he said, and I quote, I tried. It started here at MetLife Stadium and I finished here. It is now over, Neymar said after the game. Now, Neymar made his senior international debut back in 2010 and appeared in 4 World Cup tournaments. He also competed in 2 Olympics tournaments, winning a silver medal in 2012 and leading Brazil to a gold medal in 2016, according to reports. Now, the Brazilian forward made 2 appearances, but as a substitute. The 2026 World Cup, he made a calm appearance in the second half against Scotland during the group stage before he scored a lone goal in the tournament against Norway. His only title with Brazil's senior men's national team was the 2013 FIFA Confederations Cup after defeating Spain 3-0 in the finals, with Neymar scoring one of those goals. Shortly after the news broke, Thierry Henry praised Neymar, stating, "Thank you. This is a guy I would pay to watch simply as that." Henry said when he was actually analyzing the game with Fox Sports World Cup today. Now we can talk about tactics, we can talk about whatever it is, but this guy could play anywhere, anytime, in style. He couldn't made anyone, and he didn't make anyone love the game with the way he was. His goals, his smiles, and the way he went about it, and his skills. Well, for Neymar, giving a wave and a bye to international football. Meanwhile, another big upset also came over the weekend. That's the game between, talking about Argentina and Cape Verde. Yes, a team who started a fairy tale by qualifying for the first World Cup, holding European champion Spain to a draw in the first game. Also held Uruguay in also another draw. Also another draw against Saudi Arabia. Also another draw against Argentina. Well, I wonder what would have happened to Messi sitting down and watching if Cape Verde had gone through to the round of 16. But it is all it is, and it is what it is when it comes to football as the upset continues. But for Argentina and Lionel Messi, well, they continue their headway, hoping that they defend the trophy they won 4 years ago in Qatar. So now, away from that game, let's also tell you that after Cape Verde lost to Argentina, now they had a hero's welcome when they arrived at home in Cape Verde. Now let's take that visual of Cape Verde arriving at the airport and everyone waiting and celebrating a team who had a fairy tale at the World Cup.
mais famoso de Cabo Verde.
Okay, talking about Cape Verde, we don't know if they'll ever qualify for the World Cup again. So let's celebrate them. The next World Cup will be next 4 years. That's 2030, where the co-host, Portugal, Morocco, and Spain will be ready to host that World Cup. Hopefully, we might see Verde and Cape Verde. Let's see how it pans out with that team. We wrap it up this morning as we head straight to Ghana, where Carlos Queiroz has resigned as head coach of the Ghanaian national team after just 3 months in charge following the Black Stars' elimination from the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Now, the 73-year-old Portuguese tactician stepped down after Ghana suffered a 1-0 defeat to Colombia in the round of 32, ending the country's World Cup campaign. So for Queiroz, I think we say a good one. We didn't expect what Ghana will do, and eventually he did something with Ghana. Just like the same way we say in Portuguese, obrigado, we'll say obrigado to you as you find life elsewhere, either still recoaching or probably you just go retire at the age of 73. And this is where we wrap up Rapid Sport highlight on the Breakfast Show this beautiful Monday morning. The big conversation continues precisely at about 9 a.m. with Martha and Victor. Victor wearing jersey number 9 and Martha definitely with jersey number 8. Both strikers storming into the studio to continue where England left off at the City of Mexico. I still remain in John Victor. Do you have yourself a beautiful morning ahead?